In this video, we're going to do a case study on how art supply retailer Castle Arts increased their organic traffic from search 624% in just 6 months.
All In One SEO is a game changer when it comes to digital marketing.
I use this plugin for all my WordPress implementations.
And it practically does every step for you.
I think your product is one of my favorite plugins that I use on every single client site that I build.
It opened my eyes to what's possible in terms of SEO.
It gives practical suggestions. These suggestions have really significantly boosted our website search engine rankings.
Welcome to All In One SEO. We help you rank higher in Google and other search engines with our powerful WordPress SEO plugin. Click this link right here to start downloading and using All In One SEO right now. Let's get started. So this is castlearts.com. They're an art supply retailer, basically an e-commerce store. Big, beautiful website, big, beautiful video here, front and center. They sell all kinds of art supplies, colored pencils, sketching pads, watercolor pencils, paints. Here's some of their best sellers. They're a big e-commerce store, and they also have a very large blog hanging off of their website. And the blog has all kinds of helpful content for artists. Easter egg painting ideas, art goals to help you progress. What's impressive about Castle Arts is they grew their organic traffic 624% in just 6 months. If you want to read more about them or read this case study instead of watching this video, you can check out the companion case study at AIOSEO.com/trends. And I will drop in a link directly to this case study in the description below this video. So let's take a look at Castle Arts traffic. Going back to April of 2023, they had around 20,000 visits per month. And then look what happened around October 2024. Their traffic shot up to about 144,000 monthly visits. And what's really impressive is this happened in just 6 months. So how did they do it? How did they go from 20,000 visits per month to 144,000 visits per month? Well, that's what we're going to dive into in this case study. So the first strategy that Castle Arts used, and it's a familiar one, is content is king. Or in their case, content is king and queen, because they have 2 blog posts that account for 76% of all the traffic on their website. So what they did is they just kept blogging and kept posting content until they got, in this case, 2 winners. This is number 1 winner, Coloring Pages. It's a blog post with 100 downloadable stencils for kids to color in. I'm sure you remember these. I myself am still a little bit traumatized about coloring outside of the lines. If you download one of these templates, you can decide for yourself whether you want to color inside or outside the lines. Up to you. But this post by itself is responsible for the majority of the traffic to castlearts.com. And this is the second post that, combined with the downloadable coloring outlines post, is responsible for 76% of the traffic. What to draw? 20 simple drawing ideas for beginners. So with Castle Arts' content is king strategy, the first thing they did is they just plain cranked out a lot of content. But they didn't just make garbage content and throw it out there to see what sticks. They created good, helpful, people-first focused content, and then they focused on the SEO of that content afterwards. All-in-One SEO can help you handle the on-page SEO of your content with our powerful True SEO checklist. Let's head on over to the posts section, and I'm going to click on this post here called the most amazing WordPress image compression plugins available. And then if I head on over to the top right, I'm going to click on this All-in-One SEO icon here. I'm going to click on General. And then if we look at this column, scroll down a little bit, we can see all of the various ways that we can improve the on-page SEO of this post. So I'm just going to click on this one here that says readability. I'm going to click this little caret here to expand. We can see I'm doing well with images and video in the content. My paragraph length is fine. My sentence length is fine. By the way, any one of these things we could also expand again by clicking that little caret or arrow. So if I just click on paragraph length, it's telling me I'm using short paragraphs, so that's good. So if we look at this one that says transition words, we can see it's telling us that only 26.4% of the sentences contain transition words, which is not enough. Use more of them. Very straightforward. So you could go through your content and try to find those places that are not using enough transition words and edit them to use more transition words. But what you can also do is click this little eye icon, and True SEO Highlighter will highlight all of those places in your content that you can improve the on-page SEO. And then if we scroll up in the content, you can see this little inline navigation tool here. So we can jump between the different locations where there is an SEO issue. In this case, the missing transition words. So there's quite a few of them on this page, but this is how you would navigate between them. I pulled up this other post on my website called How to Set the SEO Title and Description Format. I brought this one up because there's less content on this page, less going on this page. It'll be easier to show you how to use True SEO Highlighter. So once again, click on the AIOSEO button up here on the top right. I'm going to click on General again, and then again, I'm going to click on Readability. So this time we're going to look at sentences length. So it's telling me that nearly 40% of the sentences contain more than 20 words, which is more than the recommended maximum of 25%. So basically all I need to do to fix this is to cut some of those sentences down, or take one long sentence and turn it into two smaller sentences. So once again, I'm going to click the eye icon here, and it will highlight all of those long sentences in my content. Again, we have the inline navigator here. My first sentence says, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set the SEO title and description format for all of your posts in your WordPress website. I like that sentence, so I'm not going to break that one up because I think that's a great intro to this paragraph. So I'm going to click the little down arrow here and move on to the next sentence. It says, now what we're going to be doing while we're in here is setting up a default format for our SEO titles and descriptions. That's a long, super wordy sentence, so I'm going to see if I can trim that down a little bit. And I'm going to go through the rest of this content and try to make some sentences smaller. You can see if you look on the right here, we're already down to 36.4% on sentences length, and we were up at 39% before. So we're going to try to get that all the way down to 25%. This sentence right here obviously is very long. I'm going to speed the video up a little bit in this part while I go through and fix a couple of sentences. And that's it. I just fixed 3 or 4 of the sentences there, broke them down into smaller sentences or got rid of extraneous words. And now the sentence length is good. If I open that caret up again, it's saying sentence length is looking great. When you're done making your changes, go ahead and click the blue update button. Make sure you save those changes. And this is how we can use True SEO Highlighter to highlight the sections of our content that need immediate attention from an SEO perspective.
The second strategy that Castle Arts used is they nailed image SEO. They are a website that appeals to artists. They know how important compelling imagery is. But you can't just throw images out there and hope it gets picked up in Google image search. They were very strategic. They used descriptive image file names. They wrote very good, appropriate, natural alt text. And they used image schema markup. You can see in this graph that they are just ranking for more and more keywords over time. And a big part of that is coming from scoring results in Google's image search. Whether you're a website that caters to artists or something completely different, All-in-One SEO can help you score more results in Google's image search with our powerful image SEO feature.
Let's head on over to the All-in-One SEO menu on the left and click on Search Appearance. And then on the tabs up top, we're going to click on the tab that says Image SEO. If this is your first time using Image SEO, you're going to have to enable it to see all the features available to you as a pro user by clicking the big green button that says Activate Image SEO. And then if we scroll back up, the first option here is about attachments, and it's giving you 3 options. So it's saying, do we want to redirect the attachment URL to the actual attachment, to the attachment parent, or to have it disabled? So the attachment URL is anytime you upload anything to the media library in WordPress, WordPress creates a special page for this called an attachment URL. It doesn't add very much SEO value at all to your website, so we recommend that you redirect it back to the attachment. So I'm going to leave that setting as is.
Below that, we have all the image SEO options. So you can see there's 5 tabs here: the title, the alt tag, the caption, the description, and the file name. I'm going to start on the title tab. So if you've used our plugin before and you've formatted the title or description of any of your posts, this should look pretty familiar to you. So we basically have the same kind of options for the title format of your images. The title of an image is a little bit of additional information, and it's what someone will see when they hover their mouse over your image. Here you can decide how you want to construct the title of that image. You can clear all of these things out. You can use the image title. You can throw in a separator. And if you click the View All Tags link here, or simply type in the hashtag symbol into the box, you can get all these different options that are available. So there's tons of options that you can use in the title format of your images. I'm going to just go ahead and stick with the image title, a separator, and the site title. The next option is about the punctuation. So you can strip out the punctuation in the title of your image. We have it disabled by default. I'm going to enable it. And then you can exclude certain characters. So maybe I want to only strip out dashes. So I'm going to exclude underscores, numbers, the plus sign, apostrophe, the pound sign, and the ampersand. Everything else is going to be excluded. I'm just going to strip out dashes. So if your title, for example, was red dash basketball dash sneaker, you could change that to red space basketball space sneaker by clicking this checkbox here. And you could do the same thing for underscores if you wanted. And here we're getting a message telling us that is disabled when we are excluding underscores from stripping. So in order to convert underscores to spaces, you first have to not exclude it from the stripping, and then you could convert those to spaces. So casing here applies to the title attribute of the image. It's disabled by default. There's 3 options which are pretty self-explanatory. Lowercase, everything will be in lowercase. Title case, major words are capitalized, but minor words remain in their original casing. And sentence case, the first word of each sentence starts with a capital. You can also exclude certain posts or pages or certain terms. So if you don't want to do any of this image SEO to any post about debt, you can start excluding some of those pages. You can also exclude by terms. So maybe I have certain pages tagged with the term debt, and I can exclude those pages here. When you're done adjusting all these settings, hit the big blue Save Changes button. If we scroll back up the page, there's still 4 other tabs here that we have options for. So I'm going to click on the second one, the alt tag option, and you can see we have the same options that we just had for title, also for the alt tag. So we can format the alt tag, we can strip punctuation, we can change the casing, and we can exclude post pages or different terms that tag a post or page. So let's scroll back up to the strip punctuation section. Let's enable that. And then I'm not going to exclude anything. So we are going to basically strip out all the punctuation, and I want to convert dashes and underscores to spaces. And then for the actual alt tag format, we're going to take these out and we're going to use the alt tag. I'm going to save my changes there. And then let's see this in action. So I'm going to head on over to the media library. And then let's add a new image to the media library. I'm going to click Choose File. And I'm going to upload this image called men's-black-wetsuit. Click the blue Upload button. Okay, so we've got the image in the media library. I'm going to go over to my post section. And I'm just going to bring up this first post here called TOC Demo. And right below the second heading, I'm going to drop in this image. From the media library, there's that image. And then I'm going to update the post. And then let's go view the post. And then if we right-click on the image and choose to inspect it, I can see the code behind this image, and we can see the alt text here says men's black wetsuit. It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to see if I can highlight that. Yeah, the plugin did exactly what it's supposed to and changed that alt text on this image to what we wanted it to be, which was men's black wetsuit. So we're back on the image SEO section of search appearance now, and I'm going to click on the caption tab. The first option is asking you whether you want to auto-generate captions when you upload images to the media library. It's disabled by default. We can enable that. You can also go into the media library and apply a bulk setting to all the images you have already uploaded. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But first I want to scroll down to the rest of the settings for caption here. As you can see, it's very similar to the other two tabs. So we have the caption format we can construct, punctuation, and casing. If I scroll back up to description, again, like with the captions, we have an option to auto-generate a description every time you upload an item to the media library. And then we have the same options that we had on the other tabs. If I go to the file name tab up top, we have the option to strip punctuation down to a fairly granular level. And then we have the casing option. And then we also have specific words we can strip. So for example, if every image you uploaded to your WordPress website, somewhere in the file name had IMG, and you know that's just not adding a lot of value to your website, you can type that in here and it'll strip that out of the file name. So let's go ahead and click the blue button and save our changes here, and then scroll all the way back up, and I want to show you this in action in the media library. So click on the media library, and then up top we're going to click the button that says Add New. And I'm going to click Choose File, and I'm going to grab this file here. You can see the name is img space wetsuit.jpg. So I'm going to upload that file by clicking the blue upload button. And as we can see, the file that has been uploaded to the media library is now called wetsuit. So it did in fact strip out that word img.
The third strategy that Castle Arts used is they created people-first content. This is especially important in a world of AI-generated bad content, low-quality content. They wrote good content for people first, not for search engines. They included content like step-by-step guides, real pictures, not just stock photos, and in a nutshell, they created content that satisfies Google's EEAT. So if you want to create good people-first content for your website, you want to let Google know that you know what you're talking about by sending back good EEAT signals. All In One SEO can help you let Google know that you're an expert in your field, that you are an authority on your subject, and send those EEAT signals back to Google with our powerful author bio feature.
Let's head on over to the users section, and I'm going to click on this user Matt. And if you have All In One SEO installed, you'll notice there's a new tab up top called Author SEO. So if you just have WordPress installed, you'll see personal options, but with All In One SEO installed, you get this new tab, Author SEO. Let's go ahead and click on that tab. And this is where we can fill out all of the information that will provide good signals back to Google to increase our EEAT score. So the first thing is you want to make sure that the author info is on. So next to where it says enable author info, just make sure that toggle switch is flipped on. If it's not and it's grayed out, you can just flip it into the on position. Below that, you can add your education. So there's a section here that says alumni of. I pre-filled out this information so you guys don't have to watch me type. So I put in the institution, Boston College, and then I put in a URL over to their website. You do not have to put in a URL, but I put in a URL to BC's website. If you went to multiple institutions, maybe you have more than one degree, you could add another item there. If you did that by mistake, just click the little trash can icon and you can delete it. Below that, we have a section for employer. I put in All In One SEO. We have job title, developer, and this is where you put in the job title of the author. And then below that, it says knows about, and you can put in skills here and add them in the knows about section. So I put in HTML, CSS, SEO, SQL, .NET framework. If you wanted to get rid of one of these, you just exit out. And then if I click the drop-down list, I can see all of the topics that are available. I could say I know about development work for Amazon. If you want to know where these topics come from, click on this link here that says Search Appearance, Author SEO, Author Experience Topics. I'm going to open that in a new tab so we don't lose our place. And here's all the topics. So if I wanted to add another topic, I could add it here. Let's say I also know Java. I could add that item and save changes. And that item, that topic will be added. That's not going to show up here until I refresh the page, but that's fine for this example. I think we have plenty of skills in the knows about section.
You can add an author image here. I've already added a picture of myself, but just like any other area of WordPress, you can upload a file or you can select something from the media library. Below that is a section for the author excerpt. I've chosen to use the author bio here, which is pulling information from below the author bio section, but you can use various smart tags here. If I click the link that says view all tags, these are all the smart tags available. Some of them don't make sense. I don't want to put the current year in for the author bio, but you can use any of these smart tags as you see fit. So the author excerpt will show up on the page that you are an author of in a small little compact author bio block. Since my author bio is so small here, it's only 2 sentences, I'm just throwing the whole author biography in as the author excerpt. But you could also type your own, or you could use any of the smart tags. Below that is the author bio. So this is where I talk a little bit about myself or talk about the author. You could be filling this out for someone else. It doesn't have to be about yourself. So I just have a little blurb about education and work experience that is going to send the proper signals back to Google that says I am a competent, qualified author to write blogs on this website. Below that is a very important setting, append author bio to post. Very important, but you don't have to do anything. You can just leave it as use default setting. If you uncheck that, you have the option to enable the author bio for this author to all posts. So using the default setting is saying I want to use what I set up when I was setting up All In One SEO in the search appearance settings. If you don't do anything and you just leave this alone and you've set up All In One SEO to use the author bio, then that's what it will do. So if I unselect that and choose enable, then the author bio will be included on all posts by this author. Alternatively, I could disable it and there will be no author bio for any post by this author. For most people, you're just going to want to leave it as the default setting. Below that is social profiles. So this is not the social profiles for your website or brand. This is social profiles for this particular author. So I have the All In One SEO's social profile for Facebook in here just as an example, but if this was a specific author, I could call it Matt Author or whatever my social profile link is. And we have a ton of social profiles here. So again, this is just sending more EEAT signals back to Google. I'm going to revert that back to our Facebook profile just for this example. And then you can add additional profiles just by dropping in URLs here. When you're all done with this, go ahead and click the Update Profile button. And then let's head over to one of our posts that I've written. I've written all the posts on this WordPress website, so that's easy enough. And I will pull it up in the browser and show you what this looks like with the author bio. So in my all posts section, let's just pull up men's basketball shoes here. I'm going to click the view link. So here's my post about men's basketball shoes. And if we scroll down to the bottom, we can see this little author bio here. This is cool, but this is just a demo site. Well, how about we check this out on a live site? Of course, we use our own plugin on our site. We use All In One SEO on the AIOSEO blog. So if we scroll down on this blog written about this exact topic, about how to add an author bio that boosts your Google EEAT score, we can see that this post was written by Cato. If I hover over his name, I get that author bio excerpt we were talking about earlier. And then if I click the link to see full bio, we get Cato's skills, we get his education, we get some highlights about his career, and we get an about on Cato. If I go back to the main page where the post is, there's another very cool feature in this author bio functionality in All In One SEO, and that is that someone can review your content. So here we can see that Cato's article on author bio boosting your Google EEAT signals has been reviewed by Manvi, and Manvi has her own blurb and her own bio. So this will send yet another EEAT boosting signal back to Google that not only is Cato qualified to write this article, but that it has been peer reviewed by Manvi, and that Manvi is also an expert in her field. I'm back over in the all posts section now of my WordPress website. Let's click on that post we were looking at earlier, men's basketball shoes. And it's very easy to set a reviewer for your post or your content and send one more signal back to Google to boost your EEAT score. This signal is particularly good for boosting your trustworthiness. If we look over on the right-hand section here under post, make sure you're not on block, make sure you're on post. We can see where we set the author. I have two users on this website. I have Matt and I have Bob SEO. So Matt is the author. Below that, there's a section that says reviewer. I can very simply select a reviewer. I've got my email addresses blurred out here, but I can just select Bob SEO as the reviewer. And now we're sending another signal back to Google, particularly focused on the trustworthiness aspect to help boost our EEAT score. Of course, as always, make sure you click the blue update button when you're done to save your changes.
The top 3 strategies that Castle Arts used. Number 1, they leveraged blog content to drive e-commerce traffic. Number 2, they mastered image SEO to capture searchers' attention. And number 3, they prioritized people-first authentic content and then handled its SEO. And on the flip side, there were some things they got wrong. The bottom 3 strategies to reconsider. Number 1, while overall they handled their image SEO well, they did neglect some image title tags. Number 2, they allowed page titles to exceed character limits. When your page titles are too long, they get truncated in the search results by Google. And number 3, they were missing some H1 tags on some pages. This is not a big error, but it's also a very simple thing to get right.
All-in-One SEO can help you emulate the top 3 strategies that they used, as well as fix the bottom 3 that might need some work.
So that's how Castle Arts increased their search traffic 624% in just 6 months.
If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you want to get the SEO of your WordPress website handled today, click the very first link in the description below this video to download All-in-One SEO right now.